Hi guys, how's it going? Simeon Panda.
Ulysses.
Q&A as promised. It's a bit late in regards to when we're recording it. Like, we planned to do it a few days before, but it's just been so busy, mad busy.
Better late than never.
Exactly. So you sent in loads of questions. We've got plenty on Instagram, Facebook, and emails. We're gonna try and get through as many as we can. Let's go.
I think the main thing is to try to get the questions from different sources and put it all together for everyone, so you guys obviously collectively we can try to address most of the questions together and get you the answers you want. All right, let's do it. I think one of the most common questions that you usually get, and I saw quite a lot of it both on the emails and on Instagram and the social sites, was how do I get into the fitness industry? See, I think that's a big question, quite common, because you get a lot of people that obviously with the exposure of all the social media pages, everyone's into fitness, everyone wants to train, and that's what we do, is motivate and inspire people. So it's a fitting question for a lot of young individuals to ask us. Getting into the fitness industries, there's many different avenues. Depends whether you're looking to compete or you're just looking to do modeling, or whether you're just looking to build a brand. So if you're looking to compete, I think one of the best things would be to obviously develop your physique and look at the different organizations out there and start competing and start getting your name out there when you're competing. And when I say getting your name out there, maybe shooting with some photographers, getting your images out there, promoting what you do, I think is the number one thing. So in terms of being a competitor and building yourself, that's one aspect of getting into it. If you're looking to just obviously be a model, a fitness model, and you're not looking to compete, then obviously I think the angle there is obviously to work with photographers and do some test shoots and see if you're capable enough to and submit it to the magazines and obviously get a good feedback and see what they say. There are many guys that's gone into fitness modeling that haven't competed really. Most of the angle though is through competition. So even the guys that are not bodybuilders would do like the physique competition, a muscle model. There's still some form of competition there. So I think either or you might compete, but if you're not looking to do that at all, do a test shoot, and send it out to the magazines, talk to the photographers, go to the expo, be around the events, meet with people, connect and network. I think that's probably one of the other ways to get into the fitness industry. And last but not least, some people just want to build their brand and, they're not so obviously into being a bodybuilder or a fitness model. They just want to build a brand, but they do like the fitness lifestyle and they do like to follow that. So in that case, obviously with the exposure of social media pages, etc., you can build your brand and build yourself, get your website, inspire others, and you don't have to compete or even be a model on magazines. You get so many people that are big on social media that haven't really competed or done anything, but they have a following. So you can build your own following through your website, and through the social media pages. So those are three ways I look at it. So if you take those tips in terms of working with photographers, doing test shoot every year, submit some stuff, or if you're looking to just compete, maybe getting a competition, at least one competition a year to kind of do a before and after, so people get inspired by that. People see you and say, oh yeah, he's in decent shape, but then he gets in really good shape and like, wow, how does he do that? And then you start building your following because people want to know how you did it. Everybody has their way on how they get into great shape and how they build themselves. So I think if you start doing that every year, and people take notice, and you'll start building the brand, building your name, and getting out there, and people will get to know who you are.
That's true. Also, some of you might not even want to necessarily, compete, which I personally didn't initially when I first started building my brand. And the other thing I would say is, when you're building your brand, don't force it. And by don't force it, I mean let it happen organically. So show people what you're doing. just give people your genuine personality, your genuine opinions about training. Don't try and mimic what anyone else is doing. Just be real, and that's what people will warm to. That's one of the things I've done. I've not tried to follow a specific strategy. I've just, given people my daily routine, how I train, and I haven't forced my brand on anyone. I haven't, what I get a lot of is, I see a lot of, captions on my pictures and stuff, saying, oh, follow me, I'm doing this, you need to see this. Come, take it easy, the things that you post, if people like it, they will bring people. They will tell other people to come and see it, But just don't force it. Let it happen organically. I mean, to be fair, I'll be honest with you, it's not gonna happen for everyone, because a lot of it as well is you might have the greatest physique, but how are you presenting that physique? Are people inspired by you, not by just visually, by what you say? Do they want to follow your routines because of how you look, or because of what they think and how you put it forward? So don't force it, is what I say. Just take it easy, be you, be real, and people will warm to that. So.
And Simeon's right. I think with building a brand, there's so many people with fantastic physiques out there. Let's be honest. There's a lot of guys with good physique, a lot of girls with good physique. But there's that little something extra, and it could be appeal, it could be charisma, it could be just being yourself and being real. So if you have some of those tangibles within yourself, then things would happen. If you're forcing it and you're just trying to fit in, or I guess people what they say is trying to be a wannabe, then people find it hard to see that you're genuine, and then you don't get the appeal or the likeness that you want. So he's absolutely right. Don't force things. Do what you do. Be real. Do your before and after. People see that. People know that you work hard. Post your stuff. People see and follow you. And I think that's what we've done over the years. People see that. Yeah. They see we train hard. We don't play around. We're not here to be fancy and stuff like that. We just go in there and throw weight around. And when we talk to people, we just talk from the heart. So I think fans see that and they want to know more, and when they see that, it's something that they gravitate to, because they're like, there's no BS in this.
It's what I would personally gravitate to as well. We've got people that we follow. You might follow us. We've got people we follow, and the people I follow are people that I think are genuine. Yeah. And it's the people that you see me doing training videos with. I'm only doing videos with them or hanging out with them because I feel that they're genuine. For me, it's all about how real a person is. I couldn't care less if a person had the biggest following in the world. You're not going to see me shoot with them or do anything with them to build my brand. I don't work like that personally. I work with people that I bounce off in terms of we have the same way of thinking. We're passionate about the same things. We feed off each other. That's why I work with Ulysses. When we train, we're just on the same mindset. Business-wise, we're on the same mindset. There's a few people I can name. We're just on the same mindset. We have the same passion for training, because the passion for training is the first thing. And I think a lot of you might be forgetting that. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily put a time limit on how soon you should try and get in the industry from the amount of time you've had training, but you can't have been training for 6 months and all of a sudden you just want to kill the industry. And enjoy the training first. Enjoy the training. Like we've been training I've been training for 13 years. Ulysses, how long?
Almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years. And the business side has come gradually. You work with it. You don't have to force it. Just be true to yourself, and people will see that.
It's a great point. I mean, I started competing, I think, in 2002 or 2001, to be honest. And all this recognition didn't come. I didn't win. I mean, I started winning shows when I started competing, and I thought there was something there. People thought I had potential, but I didn't force anything. I just took it year by year, did what I did. But it took a while. It took almost 10 years for people to start saying, wow, this guy, he's got something there. There's something slightly, different, or he's got good work ethic, or he's got good genetics, or he's got good charisma, whatever. I mean, people thought there was something there, but it wasn't like, I won my first show, so now I need to get into the industry, or now I need to do this, or my second or third or fourth or fifth show that I won. I mean, I think it was probably until 2008 or 2009 or 10 before people started saying, so it took me a while to build that, and there was no time limit, no cap or nothing. I mean, whether I got recognized for what I do or how I inspire people or not, wouldn't have made a difference, because I have a passion for it. I would have still continued to do what I do.
Exactly.
So the recognition, if it comes, it's a bonus, It's nice, but it's not gonna stop what I do. I do what I do because it comes from here.
And it's funny because it's like, so we've been training, enjoying training, the passion was there. And then, like you said, the following comes and it's like, oh, okay, so you guys like what I do? Cool, I'll try and show you what I do in as many formats as I can, because initially, we like to motivate as well, So that's why we have our YouTube accounts. That's why we have our Instagram, our Facebook. It's not because necessarily we want to build business and a brand per se, because when we started, that wasn't the idea. The idea was literally, I want to share what I'm doing. I know there's other people out there that feel the way I do, and I wanted to see, the bounce of what I'm doing. I'm going to bounce off what other people are doing, and that's how it's all started,
Yeah.
So if you're coming at it from the angle of business, I want a brand, people will see you coming a mile away, and there won't be no substance to it. It'll just be, a facade that you're trying to put up, and people will see that coming a mile away, Okay, so the last question we had, we were quite in depth with our answers. So Dante Wallet has emailed some questions in. These are 3 quick questions that I'm gonna fire my answers and get Ulisses to fire his answers to you as well. Okay, so he said, did you participate in any sports growing up or in college? Yes, I did athletics, so I did 200 meters and 100 meters, and I played all sorts of sports, football. Rugby was my favourite because I was fast, I was strong, I could take people down, and I could charge the ball up the field. So those were my favourite sports. And with the 100 meters, again, I was fast, so I ran for my school. So those are the sports I did. The second question: what do you do for cardio, and how often do you do it? I don't do cardio often. If I have a competition, then I'll do cardio, and it will be walking on a treadmill, slow pace for maybe 20 minutes uphill. To be fair, there was a point when I decided to add running as part of my cardio, and I loved it. I think I might have an addictive personality, because just the way that I kill training, when I started running, I immediately got a passion for it, and I started wanting to run for as long as I could. But it didn't benefit my bodybuilding, because I started to shrink. People were like, Sim, you need to calm down on that running, because it's burning away your muscle. So I had to take it easy with it. But so in regards to cardio, because of that, I don't do it as often, So but that works for me fine. What do I do about my stubborn calves? That's what you've asked. You said you have a problem with your calves. What do you do about stubborn calves? I think I've said this in my last Q&A. I train them often. I do them at least 5 times a week, and it's worked for me. Over the last 2 years, they've grown significantly as I've done that, as I've changed and implemented that new strategy of doing them more often. So I would say to do for anybody part that's stubborn, hit it more often, give it more time, plan how you are going to make that body part progress. It's not going to happen without you making some sort of plan. So 3 questions. Did you participate in sport? Did you participate in sports growing up? Yeah. What do you do for cardio and stubborn calves?
Well, in terms of participating in sports growing up, yeah, I did actually. It's kind of very similar to Simeon. I ran track, did track and field, and I also played football, soccer. So those were my main sports that I did. I was very athletic, very fast. I was just always a skinny kid, so to be honest, I took up bodybuilding and lifting weights just to gain some weight, and then it just kind of took a life of its own. But in terms of that question, yeah, I was into sports. I did track and field. I did 100 meters, 200 meters as well, and then also I I played football a lot. Every day after school, we used to play football for 2 hours every day. It was crazy. So, but yeah, so that kind of kept me skinny. Then I had to hit the weights. Next question was, in terms of cardio, again, I don't do a lot of cardio. Occasionally I'll do it maybe once or twice a week if needed. And I do it really just to work the heart. It's not because I want to lose weight or anything. My diet is usually good. And when I'm getting ready for a show, again, I implement cardio. But even then, it's usually a steady state cardio where I'm doing it for 20 minutes tops, walking at an incline treadmill or doing the rotating step. Those are the two that I usually do. Sometimes, very rare occasion, you find me on the VersaClimber. Some of you might know what the VersaClimber is, but I don't do it all the time. So it's you know, cardio for me is very limited. I work more on my training. I do a lot of superset drop sets, which keep the heart rate up, and you know, and if needed, then I do it very, very light, and usually for 20-minute max. In terms of calves, I have the same problem. My calves were always weak, is probably one of my weak points. I train them 3 to 4 or sometimes 5 times a week. I think that has helped me also over the years to keep them and maintain them at a decent or respectable level, really. But they're not massive or anything, but they're okay. I can get by with them. I think also how you train them in terms of foot placement is very important. So I do a nice variation on them when I superset them. So I'll do it standard, heels in, heels out, and that kind of hits the calves from different angles. So that's helped me over the years, and it's helped me maintain my stubborn calves. Next question, guys, we're going to talk about, which I think is an important question, talk about lagging body parts. So one of the questions that we got was, you know, I have weak legs. I need to develop them to get them up to par with my body. So what do you recommend in terms of training weak body parts? My recommendation and what's worked for me over the years, it was a time I had an accident where I broke my leg and I didn't train for about 8 months, and that was the only time I had a break between my training, and I think it was my early 20s. I got back into training and my legs were weak. Actually, one was slightly smaller than the other. So I needed to go to work on that. What I did was prioritize my training. Priority training is, when you prioritize your training, is very important. So I did legs twice a week. Twice a week, make sure you space them apart to give you ample time to recover, because sometimes you get serious soreness on the legs. And so I'll do legs on Monday and Thursday, or Monday and Friday, depending on how I'm feeling in terms of recovery from the first session on Monday. So that's what I would recommend. If you have a weak body part, train it twice a week for probably the next 3 months, 4 months, and then reassess it. But it's probably going to take you a good year or two to actually build those legs back up to par with the rest of the body. So I just took my time. Like I said, when I trained, there was no time frame in mind. There was nothing. I just knew I had ample time and I needed time to get my legs right, and which I did. So I would recommend the same thing. Just take your time, train it twice a week, and variate it and give it some space and get some good recovery in between, and make sure you do that. And that goes for every other muscle group, whether it's arms, whether it's chest, whether it's back, you know, anything. Give it two training a week, and then see how you progress with that.
Another question that I've seen on the comment section is, how long will you be training? I think a good example, to explain to you how long I plan on doing this would be, what was the lady that we met today at the expo? No, yesterday at the expo. What was her name?
Oh, yes.
The black lady, yes. Because how old is she? I don't know how old she is, and she still trains. So I don't know if that answers it for you, but I'm gonna train as long as I can train. You know, I love it. I enjoy it. It's I'm so glad I found it. It's like it's everything to me. You know, and I'm gonna continue to train for as long as I enjoy it and for as long as it benefits me, and it will continue to benefit me. Like I said, this lady who is literally my biggest supporter. She literally has been at all my shows. I always heard her voice shouting my name, and she actually brought a smile to my face when I saw her. You know, her physique is crazy, you know, and she's such a motivation for me because it tells me, yes, you can do this for as long as you're willing to do it, you know? So I plan to train for as long as I can. I love it, and I'm gonna continue to do it.
Ruby.
Let me show them. Ruby. Have to shout out Ruby. Have to. There we go, that's Ruby. Big shout out to Ruby. Thank you very much for all your support. I love it. You know, I always hear you when you're when you're in the crowd shouting my name, supporting me. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Ruby's one of our biggest supporters, and she's been training. I don't know if she's. I mean, the lady doesn't look her age, so I'm not sure what her age is. But I know she's probably over 60 years old, and she's been training for quite a long time. What it goes to show is that there's no time limit to when you train or when you're not training. I mean, the King, Arnold, still trains to this day. So, I mean, for me, when people ask me, well, don't you get tired of this? Or when are you gonna stop? Or are you gonna take a break? The answer is like, no. I mean, there's no breaks, there's no tiredness, there's nothing, because it's my passion. How can you take a break from your passion? You don't take a break from it. It's just what it is. So I'm gonna do this till I take my last breath, really. It's what I like doing, you know. I'm probably gonna die doing it. So for me, it's just business as usual, you know. When you love something so much, you know, the thought of someone even saying, well, why don't you don't need to do that anymore. You're just like, what? Oh yeah, then you don't really know how much I really like what I'm doing, do you? Because because if you did, I don't think you'd ask me that question, you know what I'm saying? So for me, just to cap what Simeon was saying, there's no time limit to it. That's why you always hear the phrase bodybuilding, fitness is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. You know, when something is a lifestyle, it's just what you do. There's no break, there's no set time, there's no, okay, I'm 50 now and I need to cut back. You just keep doing it, what you're doing. Yeah, you may not be lifting the same weight you're lifting when you're 25, as opposed to when you're 50 or 60, but it doesn't change your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is still the same. You like to lift, you're a lifter first and foremost.
Always.
Yeah, you're not a runner, you're not a power lifter, you're a lifter. It's just simple. So you train because you love it and it's in your blood. It's just simple as that. So to answer that question and to cap it off, there's no time limit to lifting.
No.
Once a lifter, always a lifter. That's it. The next question was, you know, how do you get symmetry on abs, etc. You know, getting your abs all lined up. If you happen to have them lined up perfectly, then that's good. That's good for you.
I got a question.
What's up?
Do you juice?